Up against Italo Ferreira, who continues to fight his way back into form after missing some events due to injury. John Florence getting things started early here, though, Pete.
Feels like to me this is one of the toughest draws for that title contenders. Italo Ferreira, obviously, for good reason. Very strong backhand and an incredible forehand as we watch John finish out his first ride. So pretty good start for him. And Hiroto Ohhara, the wild card for this Hurley Pro, winning the international trials. Best in waist high and below surfing. I mean, he won the US Open. And you look at that draw, again, John Florence, no easy draw here for round one.
Here we go, some movement at the peak, and it's Italo who swings on this right-hander. Solid first turn. A nice pace at the moment, and letting go of some pretty serious turns. A solid combination there. Who'll jump off on the inside.
And or front foot and back foot. That really kind of sets him apart, especially when he's in the air.
Excited to see what this wild card brings to the party. From Shiba, Japan, Hiroto Ohhara rolling through to the inside. Impeccable technique this kid has. And he plants a nice reverse to finish that ride off.
Inverted, so it gives it a little extra commitment to the maneuver. Nice strong first turn. Good flow, too, through this ride. You know, the nice round cutback. Had to chase this section down, but keeps the speed well for this finish move. And again, you see how he can load up, gets underneath his board. And so the rotation, this is much more difficult when you can get underneath it. You know, the flat spin's a little bit more easy to do, but him getting underneath it, getting the tail above the hips, and just no problem for him. That was easy. Again, talking about the balance that Italo is able to have, both in the front foot to the back foot, allows him to get that release so easily because he can transfer that weight to the front foot off the back and get that.
Another wave approaching here, and Italo's going to swing, looking left. Has a section popping up and just throws everything at it. Somehow recovers there, but his back foot did slip off for a moment. But he's not going to get much else out of that wave. It looks like his first score is going to be pretty decent, and that puts John right there at the top of the pack, and needs to make sure he doesn't trip up anymore. Here goes Italo. He's going to get rid of the 1.57 with this one. Let's see what kind of points he can add on the inside here.
Such a good energy. Again, shoulder high wave to start, but then look at the rhythm. And straight up too. Again, gets those fins released out of the lip. I mean, right here too. I mean, he's still just keeping the speed.
Yeah, just yeah, really enjoying my last lowers event.
Surfing shop, and how does that feel? Every heat could be your last year and the last time that you compete at this venue.
Oh, I know, it's crazy, you know. Yeah, that's why I want to surf so well and perform well. Like, yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, you're just going to have fun and just, yeah, sail off into the sunset. And I'm like, oh, but yeah, it's my last event, so I want to actually perform well. And
isn't going to slow him down. He's not going to get complacent. But during the interview, John Florence lit this one up, Pete.
He sure did. Going to be the best wave of the heat. 2 strong maneuvers and a third. But that first one of the best first maneuvers we've seen all day long, you know. And I think that what a lot came down to was the inspiration that Hiroto and Italo have put up big numbers already. But look at that connection with the lip. That's the style of surfing we've been accustomed to from John this season. It really hasn't been that innovation and progression style that we've seen. It's been those big rail arcs. That's what his equipment change has done.
I'm not thinking about it too much because, I mean, last year it was pretty close between me and Gabe at this point in the year, and Wilco was up in there too, and so I think Jordy even came up there in the end, and so it's always going to be a close race. You know, there's still a few events to go, and
oh, much better. Not that it was bad in the first place.
This wave for Italo during that interview.
Well, I think he's going to improve. Again, John was on the same wave, splitting the peak, and you'd have to say both these surfers, I mean, this is going to be one of those waves that there's going to be a massive amount of points given for both the left and the right. You know, who gets the better of this exchange? You'd almost have to say maybe Italo, because his wave was a little bit steeper, although I love the surfing that was done by John as well.
Let's see how Italo got out in front.
So this was the 8.5. Again, I think he really did a lot of this by you know, the impact of his moves and quantity of moves, whereas John only had, I think, the 3 or 4 maneuvers. This is it here, but this first turn, I mean, that was, you call that unleashing. He did it. Again, torquing the turns. I mean, for me, just watching it again, I mean, this wave was, in my opinion, much exponentially better than any wave in this event. Only coming in at a 9.07. Here's the 6.33. I feel like this score was spot on as far as what we've seen in the scale. But really the difference is the 8.5 and the 9 from Italo. And right now, Italo has it out front. This was the 7.4, which extended his position and kept him out front. 6.8 to a 7.4. Here's John.
Live action, Florence. Beautiful carve there. Needs to finish this right off, and he does. Finishes it with a huge hit. Certainly taking the fight to the current world number 2, and he's up once again, and this is where he can be dangerous when he has this speed and a big section coming his way. He lands out there on the flats.
We take a look first at the replay here from Italo, like that hard landing. I mean, you always worry that when you're landing out on the flats like that and your feet get shifted slightly, you know, you can see almost that impact on that back ankle. Let's take a look at the replay here. Again, he had to kind of chase it down. So it was the carve and then this turn. And so it's only the 2 maneuvers. They were strong, though. I mean, that one there, beautiful layback snap, really laid into it.
The score's starting to come through. It's so close, but not enough. A 6.6. Italo's up once again, just bogging down on that first turn. He'll try and make up for it here, but he doesn't.
And here's Hiroto's try.
So Hiroto's still in it. He can make the jump from 30, needs an 8.9 first turn. Puts it on the line, skips out for a moment. Such clean style, great flow from this youngster. And he's able to click off a little reverse to finish once again. Right behind him, Florence up. And maybe a little frustration coming out. He's digging in hard. This one's fading away, though. He's not giving up on it. Trying to add any points he can on the inside. Somehow just milks a spinner on the end section.
After those first 2 turns, the wave kind of, he put him behind. 2 nice snaps.
Wow, that was vicious, that one.
They were, but right here, he just didn't get the float into this next move. He does get it. So you wonder, again, 6.83, you got to throw the, he does get the little finish disco 60 here. Again, that rotation on the front end of the board. I don't feel like this score is going to be into the 8.9. That was a beautiful arc there, but the wave lets him down in this portion of the wave.
Great heat, though. A lot of opportunities
so cool
for all 3 competitors. One of our busiest heats so far. The heat is coming to a close. We're waiting on numbers to roll through. Hiroto doesn't look like he's going to make that as we get set to kick off another heat here in the first round. We'll see if Geordie Smith can keep the good run going for the top seeds. We'll be back in just a moment here at the Hurley Pro.